Alright guys, we'll go ahead and get started. Just make sure you're signing in. There's two sign-in sheets, one for the Alright guys, so we'll go ahead and get started. How many days saved? 6 days. Does anybody remember what we talked about last month's topic? What was it? Yes, it was, but in detail. Fire extinguishers. Thank you. Thank you. And just, we went over some fire extinguisher safety. Okay. 6 days. Guys, these last 2 months have been really a rough month for safety. In particular, our plant. Had 3 injuries, and very serious ones too. So, guys, we really need to make sure that we're working safe out there. Go ahead and close that door. No? Yeah. Okay. So we've had, this month we've had in Golden West, we've had 3 accidents in this month. Actually 2, I'm sorry. 2 in August and 2 in July. So what I'll do is I'll go over the incidents. This one happened at Cal Sheets. The employee was dumping a trash hopper into the trash compactor. Positioned the hopper above the compactor, got off the forklift, and went to release the load. If you guys are, those of you who are not aware, it's a tilt hopper, and it's got a bunch of trash in it. You pick it up on a forklift, and there's a lever that pulls down, and the hopper flips and dumps into the dumpster. Well, the employee, most of them are set up to where they have a little pull chain on it, where you pull it and then it does it so you're away from any pinch points. Well, this particular one, I don't have the picture, I should put it up there, but the person reached up to pull it, and he placed his hand between a pinch point, and in between where the forklift forks were, and when it flipped forward, it bounced, and it bounced on top, and he lost his index finger. So some of the action items they put together is make sure that all our plants, that's why we share this, all our plants get their hoppers to where they extend it and put a little drop chain on that. I know we've put that together here at this plant and over at Heritage also. So that's the reason why they share this, so that we can talk about it and be aware of it, okay? driver who was parked in, the driver who was parked in front of the trailer was watching from the side mirror and saw the baler operator who was on the forklift back down the ramp as he's coming back down, and he kind of swung out to the side to see the driver, and he waved at him. And more or less, he was saying he's not done, but the driver thought he was done. And so he backed in, hooked up as our forklift driver was driving up on top of the ramp. He felt that jolt where he was backing into the trailer and decided to flip it in reverse because he knew that this guy was hooking up to pull. So he ended up pulling out as our forklift driver was backing out. He got in the middle of the ramp, and that ramp fell while he was in the middle of that ramp. So it jolted him pretty good. He ended up going to the hospital to get checked out. His lower back was tight, and he was.
That's the second, if not third time this very thing has happened in this plant. Very same circumstances. In a short time that I've been going on for years. That's not normal. If that truck would have pulled away and he fell 4 or 5 feet, I personally have a friend that fell off a dock and his life is over since 30. Has special beds, special chairs, special little barks to drive around on because he can't walk anymore. We are so fortunate.
We are very fortunate, and quick reaction. There are some processes that we're putting together to make sure that this doesn't happen again. Glad locks, chalking the truck, better communication. Also, I'm reaching out to Gardner to go over some of these processes so that when they do come out here, that they understand the process. Okay. This one is at Cal Sheets. Temporary employee was loading a trailer. He got off his forklift while walking over the trailer. He was not paying attention and stepped on a rubber plug that was lying on the ground, rolling his ankle, causing a sprain. So the first two were, actually no, right. So this one was the ankle, and our next one also is an ankle injury. Roy was preparing for cleanup on the 7 color. He had both hands full with cleaning supplies while walking down the stairs. His left foot slipped or misstepped on that last step. Employee operatively twisted their left foot, breaking the ankle. So you guys all know what happened. It was to our supervisor Javier, and he's out right now. But he had both hands full. We ended up putting a railing on there. I think that was a pretty good idea that the team came up with. And then also we had a company come out to put some clear coat, anti-slip resistant coating on the floors there too. But, those are some of the steps. Obviously, this is reactive. We want to be proactive. That's one of the things that if you guys are seeing something out there that we're not seeing, then please say something so that we can start making plans to try to get this corrected, or so we can avoid these accidents.
That's the second incident of that nature too. The other employee was fortunate. He whapped his head on one side of the machine after he slipped, then fell over and whapped his jaw on the other side of the machine. Fortunately, he was a trooper, he took it off. Circumstances would have been ever so slightly different. We could have been looking at the exact same thing.
So YPP, this picture I took, this happened over at Heritage. These are the reasons why we wear our PPE. The mechanic was transporting an ink barrel, and it had pressure. It was, as he's rolling it down, it actually, it wasn't tightened all the way down, and it sprayed everywhere. And he was wearing his glasses, and you don't want that stuff in your eyeball. So that's why we wear our PPE. That's why we wear our safety shoes, our glasses, our hearing protection, You want to protect yourself from harm. Any comments on that? Because I want to make sure that people understand when they walk out on that floor, they're having their safety glasses on, hearing protection, and safety boots. All right. So you guys understand we have a safety observation team. Sandra and Madison, I don't know why. Sorry about that, man. But they're going out, and remember what I talked about, proactive instead of reactive. These guys are pointing out things that they see out there. They're helping me, they're assisting me, and they got my total support and all the supervisors' support in trying to make this plant safer. One of the items on there is PPE. This is something that we all should be able to take care of ourselves. Just like why PPE? Because stuff happens. Seven color, we had 2 occurrences for safety glasses. Discovery, 1 occurrence for hearing protection. Tsunami, 1 occurrence for hearing protection. So the way I want this to work is not only for PPE, but for everything, all the items that this observation touches, is if we're having an outstanding number of PPE issues out there for a particular machine, I'm going to talk to the supervisors, myself's going to go out there and observe, and if it gets to the level where I'm observing and you guys are, that machine or whatever is still having that issue, then we're going to have a sit down because it's not getting through. Okay, this is the basic stuff that we should be able to protect ourselves with. It's safety glasses, hearing protection, and they have identified machine tooling, identified 3 machine centers in need of tooling. We're starting out with the Discovery. We're still kind of working through it a little bit better, right now, but it's the trial machine. The reason why we want to do a trial is we've ordered multitudes of drills, tools. They seem to disappear afterwards. And so what we want to do is get it down right to where the machine and the operators, check it out, make sure that when they're having a shift change, that all that tooling that's supposed to be there is in there. If it's not, then they'll report it to the supervisor. Okay? So put process in place to maintain tools. We'll make any adjustments to the process needed and implement to the other machines. They also identified the scrapper needs a 6-foot hook. Got to get with maintenance to, and then we got to talk a little bit about that too, because that could be a safety issue itself. But we want to make sure that we do the right thing out there. Housekeeping. This is obviously, everybody should know that this is a big subject here out on our floor. It actually looks pretty good today, but we need to get better at it. Discovery. Improvement required, cleared out trip plates, blocking panels. So one of the things that they pointed out was that walkway by the Mini. They said that it was blocked up. It looks like that's staying pretty clear now. The baler hogger needs to be cleaned out underneath. That just recently happened. We need to get better on an ongoing process there. What's needed more improved or permanent remedy for that area. 5C sample area needs to be organized. This recently has been addressed. I think Daniel got that all squared away. Mainline strapper, improvement required. Needs daily cleanup and organized from the operators. This is an area, right? That area needs to be daily get cleaned up and organized. It's constantly being a mess out there. Plant safety, they also identified, and this is something I'm sure a few people knew, that the doors on that west wall there, that's the west wall, are in bad condition, so we contracted it out. It's a 5-week out. They got to custom make those doors, so that is in the process of getting done. Teams tasked for August, fire extinguisher location. There's some that may need to move because the plant's adjusted a little bit, so I've asked the team to identify where the fire extinguishers are, and then if they need to be moved, then we'll get those adjusted accordingly. And also on the map needs to be adjusted too, because it's an old map and it still has some of the machinery that's no longer here. Well, I'll get you that map. So what I'm planning on doing is giving him the map, the current map that we have, and then making the adjustments needed on that map, and then we'll get it out to Joel. Joel will give me a hand. Any comments or questions on that? So if you see an observation being done on your machine, you know, and you have an item, you know, on your brain that hey, you'd like to share with her, let them know so that they can put it down, and we can discuss it as a team, because both Heritage and we get together, discuss all the observations that happen, and talk about each and every one of them. And then anything that we need to have upper management, as if it's gonna, you know, cost, a big cost, then we'll get them involved and try to get that pushed forward.
Truck drivers would just come by with a pallet. One would take care of that half the plant, another would take care of this half the plant, then put it on a pallet and carry it out. Now we can just drive down the aisle, dump it into the big dumpster, the open top, the flip dumpster that we were talking about in the first thing where the individual worker's hand, and then carry it out and dump it all together. You should not be bringing onesie twosies outside. If a lot of them are heavy, and if one person's trying to lift them into that garbage can outside, there could be risk of a spray or a strain. Use the tools that we have available to us. That's what I would add. It seemed to work for us well, and we didn't have a dumpster back then. The guys put them in the bags, pallets, and got them all out. Ramirez did a really good job with that one. Second shift, I was really pleased. So might be something to look at. Just a thought.
So if you see them out there doing an observation, please, you know, if you have something on your mind that can help improve the safety or tooling, you know, please talk to them. All right, so our focus this month is going to be hand safety. No, not as, they're not as gruesome as. So why do we need hand safety awareness? According to the U.S. Bureau, there were more than 1.1 million hand injuries in 2014, resulting in visits to the ER, lost time from work. In the workplace alone, 20% of the injuries involved the hands and fingers, ranging from minor cuts to irritations to more permanent injuries like fractures and amputations. The breakdown of the 5 most common hand injuries in the workplace include lacerations, add one of those, crushes, close to one of those, convulsions or detachments, add one of those, punctures, I'm sure there's some out there, fractures. According to Safety and Health Council of North Carolina, additional hand hazards employees may encounter in the workplace include electrical burns, as in a case study above, exposures to chemical, frostbite, penetration, contusion, sprains, and strains. right, so again, the reason why we want to protect our hands. So these are PI injuries. This hand one was at the 5 color. The one on top, that one was actually just a picture of that I found, but it was an employee that retired from here. He ended up over at the Tanabe. He got his hand caught into a belt that was moving. All right, and then of course our doctor, most recent one, the cut his right thumb, got 7 stitches. So Heritage, they've had 2 amputations and a cut finger. This one's an old picture that you guys probably have seen before. And then the cut hand, the gentleman was using a box cutter. Is that allowed in this plant? Okay, no. He was using a box cutter, ended up slicing a nice chunk of skin, tooth. And so these things happen in our plant. As hand incidents have been the majority of the injuries for manufacturing plants, we are conducting awareness training to help employees understand how to prevent these types of injuries. Manufacturing plant injuries, first aids, air hose clamps, paper cuts while handling corrugated board, hand slips off tooling, sharp metal object in the work area, pulling on jam-ups. You guys can understand how that is out on the floor, right? Cut on equipment while reaching into machine. Scrapes and cleaning equipment. Cuts and splinters from broken pallets. Using tools in awkward positions, working in tight areas. Other first aids, paper cuts in the office. Yes, the office personnel can get hurt in there. But infection, prevent infections. Cut while working on cutting die knife. Cut while hitting emergency stop button. Bumped hand on the machine while cleaning. Metal sliver on broken tool handle. Finger contusion while removing a wedged part. Scraped finger against slaughter knife. Metal sliver and fingers when lateral lock pin broke. Cracked broom handle. Guys, if you guys, and I don't think I've seen any out there, but if there's any broken broom handles, let's chuck it and get those out of here and get with the supervisors so we can order some more. Alright, so there's more first aid. Recordables, skin torn off hand in pre-feeder belt section. Cut finger while using box knife. We're not supposed to use box knife, right? Finger cut on wolf stock banding. Leg cut while using box knife. I know I've showed that picture before. Nice little over at Heritage. Gentleman was cutting dunnage and using a box cutter, not a retractable. Slice all the way through, cut a nice chunk, or cut a nice clean cut on his shin, and it requiring 12 stitches. Cut thumb while handling doctor chamber. Prevention, use gloves whenever possible. Rubber gloves when handling hazardous material or refueling propane. We do have rubber gloves out there. Okay. And a face shield.
In the box.
Okay, good. Gloves for handling doctor chambers near blades, cutting die boards. Kevlar level 4 gloves. These are our gloves, so we have these here. I just checked. We still have good supply in here. General purpose work gloves. Gloves for general work, handling pallets, sheets. These are gloves that we have in our plant here. And our maintenance guys, leather thermal gloves when welding and grinding. Maintenance in here? Policy cut resistant glove must be worn when handling cutting dies, doctor chambers, or when working around sharp blades. Everybody understand that? That's out on the floor? I want to make sure everybody understands that. Our dye room personnel, make sure that you have sleeves. Always cut away from yourself. Always focus on the task at hand. Make sure you're focusing on what you're doing. Guys that are coming up behind, you guys gotta be mindful of that distraction. Try not to distract if he's in the middle or she's in the middle of something, you know, with a blade or dealing with something sharp. Please make sure you're mindful of that. Let them finish their task, and then you can interrupt. Things to think about. Always be aware of your where you place your hands. Don't use worn or damaged tools. Use gloves whenever possible. Don't use gloves around moving equipment or nip points. That young lady at Heritage in Lathrop, the one with the thumb injury, she was working in a drill press and she had gloves on. And that's what happened. Her glove got caught in there and it ripped her thumb off. So that picture that you guys seen earlier, that was that incident here. Use proper gloves for the task at hand. Use care when around sharp edges of tools and equipment. That is it. Any comments, questions, feedback? So PPE, guys, don't let it get to the level where I'm talking to the supervisors or myself have to go out there and observe, and you know, we don't want it to get to that level. You should be told once and that's it. It should be that simple. You guys gotta wear your PPE. All right? Thank you very much, and the teams, Doug, office personnel, you're excused. Thank you. Grab yourself an orange. A water. Huh?